Well, hello everyone. Welcome back to Hinterland. Happy Friday. Of course, it's Friday, and it's fantastic. Weekend is just around the corner. As you can see, Henrik has done us a favor. He has found a tank that I guess is going to actually allow us to use or take milk from our storage facility. Our old tank from, I think it was the Lizard Liquid Pack, some sort of thing. Unfortunately, was quite literally the only tank that didn't work with this facility. I'm not entirely sure now what it's called. Is it this one? This doesn't look right. That's not what we owned. I forget what it was called. But anyways, this is from the LSFM pack. And boy, that pack's been around since forever. I think oh, here it is. The Universal Liquid Transport. This is the one we used to own, and I could not get any of these to work properly with our milk storage. So went with this LSFM. Where's our LSFM? LSFM, there you are. This thing's been around forever from Farmer Andy. I think I used it back in FS15. Even, and they just always seem to work, and they work really well with maps that have water that you can get out of ponds and lakes and things like that, and they're just good tankers. And yeah, were you picking up or dropping off? That didn't look right. I saw something spitting out of the back. Now I'm not seeing anything working again. Why aren't you working? Oh, you know what? I wonder. Let's close the lid. Can we change? We can't change. This is so weird. I had it working. You know, it's like Courseplay. It won't work when I'm recording. Oh, wait. I got 5% milk. There we go. Yes. Bravo. I think I dumped some milk on the ground, but not much. I don't think we lost very much. Oh, goodness gracious. That's crazy. How much does this thing hold? 18,000? So that's a step above what our old tanks did. But anyways, yeah. I spent like 20 minutes, maybe even 30 minutes, figuring out which tanks would work with that milk storage. I think the problem there is I think the dump and the load triggers are just too close together, maybe? I don't know. But LSFM has never let me down in the past, and I actually got it to work fine with the stock game tanker as well, but it didn't hold as much, so we're going with LSFM. Now let's just keep our fingers crossed that we can actually drop off milk here. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Look at it just peeing out the back there. I think it's even got oh yeah, it's even got the working gauge. I like that. That's pretty sweet. Now I think you can customize this, and you can do universal with the hose system, and I think that hose system, I think Farmer Klein or somebody did a YouTube video on that, but the map has to be set up. If I'm not mistaken, the map has to be set up, or the production facility has to be set up to work properly with it. And I think Farmer Andy's Hoff Bergman is set up. In fact, that's exactly what it was, I think. It's pretty cool, too, because an actual hose comes off the side and connects, and it looks pretty slick. Since we're here, actually, I haven't done any decorating yet over here. I'm gonna work on that this weekend, I think, and spruce up our milk factory a touch. Let's take a look at. Are you? There you go, buddy. So now we should be producing milk from, well, all three of them. Yeah, milk to butter. I'm sorry, we should be producing butter from straight milk, from milk and, I don't know, what is that? Canola oil. And then canola oil, or I'm sorry, olive oil and sunflower oil. So there we go. We got butter coming. Do we have butter? Did we set that up to... we should probably set it up to have it go... Yeah, we did set it up for distributing. Oh, that's the olive trees. Where's my... That's a shiny tank, isn't it? Man, we've got a lot of factories going. Okay, good. So we're distributing, which is what we should be doing, over to the bakery, which is awesome. It's been given some thought to some more production. I've got an idea. I think I've got an idea that I want to try out for... Hey, Heinrich, how's it going, buddy? Thanks for the tanker. It's working out well. Got kind of an idea for something we can add to the farm on the rest of Field 1. So instead of extending that field like I talked about last time, I think we might use some more of that open space on Field 1. But I gotta look into it and see... You don't want to pick up? Really? Maybe there is no milk. Let's see. Do the cows have milk? Oh, it's empty. Well, that'll definitely do it. And actually, we can just leave this here for now. Let's head back to the farm. We got some work to do and get started on. So we're going to be doing some cultivating. We need to get our sunflower field cultivated up. I also want to extend this sunflower field out this way, and I've got our Fent over there lined up, ready to get started with that. And yeah, this area right here, I was gonna kind of incorporate part of this field into that field. Now I'm kind of changing my mind. Well, it's undecided. I'm undecided, so we're not gonna rush into doing that quite yet. I might toss something else down there. We'll see. But what we can do is get to working on some field action here. October. Man, we've got a lot of production going on, and I'm thinking with all this production that we have going on, we're not going to have a lot of things to sell, like raw products to sell. So, I don't know if I'm going to be able to do this. I'm going to have to be very gentle on the Anderson. I wanted to pick up this cultivator. We've got two cultivators since we didn't end up selling this one. We've got this cultivator, and we've got the big boy, the big Bourgol. The big Bourgol from Canada. I don't know why I'm talking that way. It doesn't even really make sense, but... Oh, and today's beverage is, again, Celsius Peach Vibe. Was I doing a peach vibe last time we were here in Hinterland? I'm telling you, I'm having some serious addiction issues with this Celsius drink. It's kind of funny because today at work I had one on my desk, and one of the security guards walked by my desk and saw my Celsius sitting on my desk. And normally if a security guard is coming up to, your desk, you're thinking, well, they're finally walking me out. I guess they figured out I don't know what I'm doing. But this time he actually just stopped by and mentioned that he also was a big fan of Celsius. So we got to talking a little bit about the Celsius drinks. Did a little price comparing, kind of figuring out where the cheapest place to buy them are, because they're not particularly cheap. Vending machine at work has them for like $2.95, which is like top dollar. Excuse me. But if you go on Amazon, sometimes Speedway, if you've got Speedways in your area, they've got like buy 3 for 5, you know, that kind of thing. Yeah, you got to pick them up on a good deal. Let's get the Fent going on this field for cultivating, I think. Yeah, let's do that. Number of headlands. Let's do 1 headland. You know what? We'll go sharp this time. I'm feeling sharp tonight. Excellente. Okay, starting point is right to the rear of us. Am I going the right way? Arrows are pointing that direction. Excellent. First waypoint. Let's hop in the John Deere and get the deer out of the way. And we'll let the Fent get by. And then we need to do a little bit of a lineup here. I'm not particularly sure how I want to line this up. We'll wait for the Fent to do its sharp corner and get out of our way. Check out this beautiful noise of Celsius Peach Vibe. Yeah. Oh. Wow. Wow. I don't know what it is about these things. I don't know. There's something in them. There's something in these drinks that is not listed that I think is unlisted. Some kind of an addictive additive of some sort, because I've been sucking them down big time lately. No wonder I've been having like heart palpitations and stuff too. I think I don't know if there's caffeine in there or what, but man, I think it's starting to take a little bit of its toll on me. We're gonna try out this number. Are we on an actual... Actually, that might work. That looks... I don't know if that's going to... Boy, it's hard to see, isn't it? Can we, we want show lines, we don't want dots, and the line offset, let's lift that up. There we go. Yeah, that actually looks pretty good. I think we're gonna go with that. And let's lower it, and let's turn on create field, right? Yeah, there we go. That's what we wanted. So let's just see if we can extend this field out maybe to around where this field's edge is up here. It's going to be kind of an odd shape, but all these fields are going to be odd shaped just based on trying to fit them in the land that we own, kind of a thing. Oh, so mods have been a little bit slow this week. My understanding is it's probably because of the mobile FS23. I guess maybe a lot of Giants is probably working on getting that ready for release. At least that's what I've been told. Are you all going to pick this thing up, the mobile version? I'm going back and forth on it. I mean, I don't even know how much it's going to cost. I kind of feel like... Yeah, let's do this. I kind of feel like it's... I kind of feel like it's going to be a lot like playing the normal console PC game, but not as good. Man, and I know that just doesn't sound really nice at all, but that's kind of the feeling I'm getting. You know what I'm saying? Is that kind of a legit thing? It's like everything I've seen about it so far reminds me of the normal game, right? I mean, with less, of course, but it reminds me a lot of the normal game, but just not as good. So, and on a mobile device. So it's kind of like, well, why would I want to do that? I will. There's no question about it. I'll definitely end up picking it up and probably, you know, at least trying it out and stuff. I mean, it would be fun if I traveled a lot. I think I could totally get that. Let's see if we can get this thing lined up. Oh, that's not good. See, that didn't work to our advantage at all right there. Can we scooch it over? Yes, we certainly can. I don't want to get too crazy on that tree up there. I think we're okay there. We can always fix it later. We can fix it later, I guess. But I'm still excited about it. And actually, from based on what I've seen so far, from the demonstrations that have been on YouTube, it's quite a bit advanced over the last mobile version, from what I remember of the last mobile version. It's like much, they've put a lot of work into it. So we're going to scooch, I think, just down here and kind of veer into this edge here. I think. It's not going to be pretty, but it'll be effective, I think. And it's not adding a lot, but enough to make it worthwhile, I think. It's at least adding... I mean, wouldn't you say it's at least adding as much as we lost from giving up Field 1? I think so. Probably, and then some. Yeah, this is kind of what I was thinking. And just kind of just letting it veer into our existing field. And by the way, my apologies again for Old Family Farm audio. I listened back. I listened back. Getting out of your way. I listened back to it, and in some situations, in a lot of situations, it felt like my mic volume was kind of drowned out quite a bit. So I made some more adjustments. I am really trying to tone and get this audio worked out. So I appreciate your patience. If you have any suggestions on devices that will help level out audio, I would definitely be interested in hearing them. My son actually mentioned to me today that he said I should try OBS. And because I guess it has better audio leveling built into it, or has some audio leveling built into it, unlike Shadowplay. So maybe I'll look at that this weekend and see if OBS will work a little bit better. I tried OBS for a little while, and I didn't mind it. The only thing I didn't like about it, and I know this is going to probably sound kind of silly, but there was absolutely no indication when you would start recording. There was no indicator saying, hey, yes, recording has started. And there was no indicator that said, oh, yes, recording has finished. Like Shadowplay actually tells you, you know, your recording has started. And it tells you your recording has ended. And I like to see that, so I know it's feedback. You know, because you're hitting a key combination, right, to start and stop recording. OBS didn't do that for me. And that kind of bugged me. It was like, man, I was always constantly paranoid that maybe it really wasn't recording, and I'm sitting here for half an hour doing an episode, and it's not being recorded. But I'm going to revisit OBS and see if it does a little bit better job. We'll see. Look at the wet spot those bushes have left behind. Oh, yeah. But I think I've got a couple of things figured out. I had the master volume cranked up way too high. And that was the main reason that the water was so loud. And on Old Family Farm, Jimmy Dean screaming at the auctioneers. Yeah, I was convinced that was environment level, but that was master volume level. I had that thing jacked up way too high. So just bear with me, a little bit of patience. I definitely appreciate it. It definitely will get better. I will do my best to make sure that the recordings are as good as they can be. A friend of mine is a professional voiceover actor, and I have reached out to him for some advice as well on just my audio setup. I don't want to, I mean, you can spend thousands and thousands of dollars on this stuff, right? But at least he's got a ton of experience with audio setup at home. And in fact, I would probably bet if you listen to commercials either on TV or the radio, you have probably heard his voice. If you listen to any training material, you've probably heard his voice. He has just done so much voiceover work. He was my neighbor in Minnesota when we were kids, and we hung out together quite a bit. We were good friends, and he was a little bit older than me, so we kind of grew apart in high school a little bit towards the end when he was a senior. But we connected back up a couple years ago, and we've been staying in touch, and it's nice. It's nice to hear how well he's been doing and what he's got going on and getting married and all that fun stuff. Why are our oh, okay, that's right. I was gonna say, why are our GPS lines so far off? But we do turn a corner up here, don't we? It's hard to, with Farming Simulator, in some regards, to get the volume audio really well, because for one thing, not all the equipment is normalized. So you are going to run into like that like the Kloss harvester that I exchanged out. That volume level was cranked up, and some things are a lot quieter. Like the Voltra, I think, is a pretty quiet tractor. But I think there are ways, if I'm not mistaken, I think there are ways that you can automatically have your mic volume and other audio inputs automatically normalized on the fly. And that's kind of what I'm looking to try and get into if it doesn't cost an arm and a leg. Somebody told me a long time ago, and I don't know that if it was my buddy from Minnesota or who it was. They told me though, look, people will tolerate video that may not be the best, but people want to always be able to hear clearly what's going on. So audio, at least in this person's opinion, audio was more important as far as quality goes than video. Now granted, if you can have both, that's fantastic, but if one or the other has to suffer, let it be the video. According to this person, and he was an AV guy. In fact, that just reminds me of who it was. It was actually, yeah, it was an AV guy at a company I worked for about 15 years ago, who invested, man, did that company invest a lot of money in their audio video equipment and presentation stuff. It's insane. Now that I look back on it, how much money they put into it, which I guess made sense because they were a footwear manufacturer and they had to present, their brands as good as possible. Now my guess is this part of the field is going to show fertilized because of the grass. Yep. So apparently, yeah, and that's where the spottiness comes from too, I guess. So, Tin Man, I was watching one of your videos and I think you mentioned something about the grass texture here on Hinterland, and I think you're right. I think you said it was a little more spotty than some other maps, and I think you might be right. And I think you were talking about I think you were talking about the planted grass, right? Not the meadow grass. But I've kind of noticed that myself. And I think on PC, there is a way to thicken textures and make them look more full. You actually go in and there's an XML file that you can edit on your save game, I think it is, for your map. It's either on the map XML or it's your save game XML. I think it's the map itself. And it's actually pretty easy to do. There's a YouTube video that Disturbed Simulations? He does a lot of good videos. I don't necessarily watch his gameplay, but he does a lot of good videos on stuff like that, like on some modding things and how to correct some issues. He's got some really good information towards that. And he did a video showing how to make your crops look thicker. And my guess is that would also work with the grass, both meadow grass and planted. And I think here on Hinterland, if I am not mistaken, Omatana allows us to, when we plant grass, we can plant standard field grass, like crop grass, but you can also choose to actually plant meadow grass that acts like normal field grass, planted grass. And maybe that is part of why we're seeing a little bit of differences in texture. I don't really know. I do know that if you do mess around with changing that foliage density, and I think that's what it comes down to, is its foliage density. It's either foliage or crop density. I think maybe crop density. Depending on how far you go with it, it could and probably will impact your frame rates, because the game is having to load and render a little bit thicker volume. But you can kind of choose how much more thick and dense you want things to look. In fact, maybe I might look into that and see about doing that here on Hinterland, and see how that looks. I'd be curious. I'd be curious after doing that if it gets rid of this spottiness here. It probably would, and I think this spottiness goes away after a second layer of fertilization, because I think it's only there. It used to be all over here, and it's only there because of the spottiness of the grass. See all those empty kind of spots where the grass isn't full? I think those are the spots we're seeing. Well, hello, Mr. Fent. Hope it's not Gwen. So kind of been given some thought to what's next for Hinterland. I think more land that probably needs to be kept up there on a priority to keep expanding our property. It wouldn't hurt, I don't think, for us to get a couple more summer rentals in pretty soon. I think we're going to be in a little bit of a lull as far as income. I think it was good that we got that we did get some passive income set up early on. I just think it's going to take a little while for our production to kick in, because we're not getting those overnight sales of olives like we were, and we're not going to be selling crops outright and stuff. We're going to be just, forwarding them on through production. So I think we might end up, it'll all catch up, and it'll be much better once it does, because obviously, your production sales are much higher than just raw materials, but it does take a little while for that to kind of cycle around and start paying off. But we'll be fine as far as our passive income goes. That's going to keep us afloat. It's just going to be a slow winter, because we aren't planting anything until spring. And once spring comes around, then it's going to be going to town here. I think I am a little bit committed to planting cotton. I think it'll be good for us to get a nice big load of cotton for our spinnery. I'm convinced that spinnery is going to make us rich. It already has paid off so much money for us. I mean, we had almost $500,000. What, we have $400,000 in bank debt, and that spinnery pretty much covered that entire debt. So there's no doubt that the spinnery tailor shop is going to be a big win for us. As long as the sheep don't die off and they keep producing wool, I think we'll be in pretty good shape. I've really enjoyed this John Deere. I didn't think I would like it as much as I do. But I'm really liking the tracks as far as the turning radius goes. Yeah, yeah, that's nice. Yeah, that's nice. I should see if our Fent... I wonder if our Fent will, has track options. I'm trying to remember if I've ever seen a big 1050 on tracks. I don't think I have. I've seen a big 1050 with triples on it, and that looked amazing. Driving down the road, it took edge to edge of that 2-lane road. That was epic. Absolutely epic. Well, let's get our last little plot here finished off, and we'll call it good. We'll let our farmhand finish off getting our field cultivated. I was considering doing some mulching, but I'm just not convinced that it's completely worth it. I mean, it's nice if you're playing, maybe you're playing more to just do it for realism's sake, or for, you know, whatever your reasons might be. But I'll tell you, for the percentage and for the yield bonus that you earn on a, especially, I mean, I don't know, I'm not sold on it being worth it, especially when the largest mulcher is 6 meters. Now, I thought, and I could be wrong, but I think there is a mod. Oh, I like the way that thing shuts off. I think there's a mod out there that, sorry about that, that has converted rollers into mulching. Oh, look at that right there. Huh. Speak of the devil. 12.3 meters, and it does act as a mulcher. I thought so. And I think there's a bigger one out there even. I think there's a Mandako. Is it Mandako? I think there's a mod out there with that brand that's a roller that you can also set up as a mulcher. This is kind of nice. Oh, I didn't realize this thing did all of them. So it does field, grass, and mulch. Shoot, we might be trading ours in. This is the one we have. And I think we went that route because of the low horsepower we had, but now we've got horsepower to cover for days. I'd like to get this right here, this 24.3 meter. I'm going to look and see if that's available with all of these options. That would be sweet. But we might, if I can't find anything else, this might be a really good idea for us, because it'll do all three. Nice. Okay. Well, I think that is going to do it for this episode of Hinterland. I will finish, or I'll let Courseplay finish. Who is running the show today? It is Gwen. Aww. That's nice of her to come all the way to Germany to work on the farm here. And teleport through time about 100 years. Not quite sure how she did that. Interesting. But yeah, we'll let Courseplay put a wrapper on this field. And we'll go from there. Maybe next time we'll do some more winter construction if we've got the money. Otherwise, keep the cows and sheep and chickens fed and happy, and keep the butter company filled with milk, and I think we'll be good to go. But thanks everyone for watching. Please leave a like if you enjoyed it. I definitely would appreciate it. And of course, as always, you're welcome to subscribe. That would be amazing. Love to see new subscribers. And if I don't see you this weekend, have an awesome weekend. I will probably be publishing something this weekend, so hopefully I will see you then. But take care for now. Take care of each other. And I'll see you soon. Bye for now.